And welcome, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that little musical interlude. This is the Financial Pros Level Up Your LinkedIn game. We do a little countdown because people are going to join us over the next few minutes. So we're going to get started in the next few minutes. As you jump in, I see a number of you joining us now. Guess what? Let's use that like button. Please, please, please click the like button. Help us spread the word to the other 160 plus people in this LinkedIn event. Let's help our friends, family, and colleagues learn and develop today. Let's also get in the habit right at the start of today's event of using the comments. What I'd like you to do right now is to commit not to being a lurker today. Jump in the comments right now and share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the country, the United States of America, you're joining us from. Listen, in this time of physical distancing, we don't have to be socially distant. Let's build that global community. So I'd like to see you right now, your challenge in the comments. Share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you are joining us from. And as we go, there will be more opportunities, not only to ask questions, but share your comments, your agreements, your disagreements, whatever it is. I got to tell you, that little musical intro at the beginning always gets me going. So who's joining us today? Let me know in the comments. Don't be lurkers. Life is about being intentional. Hit that like button, use the comments. We're going to get started here in a moment with everyone joining us here. There might be a small delay from the time you see it. So Dave Carroll from Seattle. Dave, so good to see you here, man. It's been a while, Dave. How you doing today? Mick Lindquist from Marshall, Michigan. Mick, wonderful to see you. And we just talked last week. Of course, we'll be talking later this week. Whether you're joining us live or the archive version, jump in. Use the like button. Click it. Give it love, thumbs up, whatever it is. Please, in the comments. And I'm gonna remind you this several times throughout the day. Name, city, state, town. Where in the world you're joining us from. Let's share it. Let's build that global community. Now, I know over the past day or so, I've shared with a number of you have shared with me some of your questions, comments. I'm going to try to get to as many of those as possible today to help you deal with some of your LinkedIn challenges. But you know what? If you have questions as we go, throw them in the comments, because you're not just going to be helping yourself by asking those questions. If you have that question, I guarantee someone else who's joining us live or someone else who's watching the archive version of this will have that question as well. And also, and I'm going to repeat this several times as we go today, in the bottom lower left of the screen, you see that text authority to 55678. Take out your cell phone. Text authority to 55678. There's a number of things that we'll do. One is, if you have any questions for me, if you want to schedule a free strategy call with me, text that. We'll get in touch with one another. Also, I have a number of free goodies and webinars up there, including my 4 Pillars of an Authority Brand webinar. You can also subscribe to my new Authority Brand podcast. Text authority to 55678. And guess what? One of the things we're going to talk about today is lead generation. You have a question about this texting service? I can show you how that works. It's a huge lead generator for me. And you're going to learn that when you text me, I'm going to give you a call. So I see a number of people have joined us since we started. Again, thank you so much. As you join today, please jump in, hit the like button, share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you are joining us from. I can't wait to get started today. We have a number of folks joining us today. Share those comments, those questions, those agreements, those disagreements with us today. So as we get started, listen, and by the way, this is going to be archived, and I'm going to share with everyone the archived version of this as well. But my name, of course, is Curt Mercadante. I know Dave and Mick, you've left comments. You and I have chatted, talked, whatever. But those of you who don't know me, my name is Curt Mercadante. First and foremost, I'm a husband and I'm a father. Those are the 2 most important things you can take away. My money you can take away. The companies I've founded, all of it doesn't matter. I'm a husband and father first. But I help entrepreneurs increase their authority brand exposure to the right clients. We're going to talk about what that means today to generate the right leads and more revenue. That is my impact story. Some people call it value proposition. We're going to talk about impact story today because you know what? LinkedIn is a tool, but you got to have a strong foundation. And if you have the wrong message, if you don't know the impact that you provide your clients, you don't communicate that on a regular basis, all the tools in the world, LinkedIn, what I'm going to show you today isn't worth a hill of beans. That's my impact story. And by the way, as we go, if you're like, man, I need help with my impact story, I need help really coming up with the right message, I need help learning how to use LinkedIn beyond what Curt is teaching me today, lower left-hand corner of your screen, text U30 on your cell phone to 55678. I got a lot of free goodies there for you. And in addition, you and I can have a chat. We can talk about how to get you getting the right message to the right clients. LinkedIn is one of the ways we do that. I see Roy from St. Louis is joining us. Thank you for joining us. Again, as you join us, leave your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you're joining us from in the comments. And there we go, text authority. I'm also going to share a little link here if you have any questions and want to schedule a free strategy call as we go. I just put it in the comments. I think I did. Actually, I didn't. I'm going to put them in the comments right now. There we go. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are getting started here with the Level Up Your LinkedIn game. And if you stay till the end, we're going to learn, why LinkedIn? Why is LinkedIn? I'm so partial to LinkedIn. And so I'm sort of in a LinkedIn bubble. And I'm so surprised when I find entrepreneurs who are only using LinkedIn as like a resume service, as a resume site. LinkedIn is the most powerful authority branding tool to build your business. We're going to talk about what not to do. I addressed the CFA Institute back in May. During that presentation, I had 200 people connect with me on LinkedIn, CFA members, charter holders, etc. Since that time, there isn't a day goes by that I have anywhere between 2 and half a dozen calls, conversations with financial services professionals about their brand. And as I'm on the phone with them, I looked at their LinkedIn profile and man, I can see financial pros. Some of them aren't using, some of you all aren't using LinkedIn to its maximum. And some of you are, we're going to talk about what not to do on LinkedIn. And we're going to talk about specific actionable tools you can use to help you up your LinkedIn game. But before we get going here today, I want to stop. I want to pause. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us just now, who came through. And I'm going to repeat this. Give us a like. Hit the like button right now. I challenge you to lick the button. Lick the like button. Don't lick the like button. Hit the like button. What are you waiting for? Just click that like button. I want to get you involved here. And I want you to use the comments section. Dave, Mick, Roy, they were courageous enough to stop being lurkers and jump in. And I challenge you, each and every one. Yes, you. Share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you're joining us from today. I'm going to have questions throughout. You can answer them. Let's get the participation going. This is how you avoid Zoom fatigue and the screen fatigue. You get engaged, you get interactive. We're going to try our best today. And also, I urge you, text authority on your cell phone right now to 55678. And I want to ask you right now, let me know in the comments with a yes, a hell yes, a heck yes, hell yeah, whatever you want to say. Are you ready to learn how to level up your LinkedIn game? I'm not going forward until I see some hell yeses, heck yeses, whatever in the comments. I'm going to pause right now. So until you start putting it in there, use those comments. I'm not moving on. Are you ready to learn how to up your LinkedIn game? Yes or no? Throw it in the comments, and then we will get started. Do I see some yeses? Do I see some hell yeses? What do we see here? All right. Who's watching? Who's joining? Who's going to engage today? We got a number of people joining. We got a lot of lurkers. You want me to continue here? All right, Mick. Yes, we got a yes from Mick. As you go, throw in some hell yeses. Don't just be a lurker. Let's go. Let's show that you want to learn how to up your LinkedIn game. Because you know what? You know what today is about? Today is about you. Today is about upping the amount of leads you can get to grow your business, and the amount of people I talk to who say, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to jump in and learn how to LinkedIn. I'm not ready to really get involved in branding. Are you not ready to grow your business? Because that's what it's all about. Financial people, whether you're financial, you're a speaker, trainer, coach, you're a high-end consultant, or you're selling widgets, you're really smart people at what you do. But guess what? If you don't sell, you don't have a business. And branding is about communicating your authority ideas. Those authority ideas are about how you improve the lives of other people, how you improve the lives of your clients. If you don't do that, if you don't master that, if you don't build that strong foundation, I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how wonderful your product is. I don't care how wonderful your features are. If you can't sell, you're not going to build your business. And I know a number of you are family folks out there. You're not going to feed your children. How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to thrive, not just survive in this COVID economy? It starts with building your authority brand so you can generate more leads and sell more. That's what today is about. So I love seeing Mick, Dave, Roy, anyone else who wants to jump in with a hell yes. Don't be shy. I don't know how you're going to sell if you are shy. Zig Ziglar said, shy salespeople have skinny kids because they can't feed them. And guess what? If you work in a business, if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're a human being, you are in sales. Oh, wow. Dave's got some smoke inside the bank. Be right back. All right, Dave. Anyways, everyone watching right now is in sales. You got to get that through your head if you're an entrepreneur and a business owner. So what is this? I know I'm dating myself with this picture here, but what is this a picture of? Of course, it is a typewriter. And guess what? More than just a typewriter, it is a tool. Because I often say that the quality of Ernest Hemingway's novels was not determined by the type of typewriter he used, because the typewriter was a tool that he used to communicate his message. Well, guess what? LinkedIn is a tool. Twitter is a tool. Facebook's a tool. These are all communications tools. They are vital tools that can help you build your brand, that can help you communicate your authority ideas, but they are only tools. And I run into so many entrepreneurs, especially in the financial services space, who just want to rely on the tools to build their business, and they fall flat because it's garbage in, garbage out. If you don't have the right message, if you haven't clearly and radically and aggressively identified the most ideal clients for you, and if you haven't built a process, an efficient process to deliver that message to those ideal clients, LinkedIn ain't going to matter. So all the things we're talking about today are predicated on you having a strong branding foundation. Without that foundation, the house will fall down. You have built a house of cards. So I predicate this. Today we're talking about a tool. LinkedIn is a tool. We're going to share some great tips and advice for you to use that, to use it as a tool to communicate your brand, to generate leads, to build more revenue. But it is a tool. And if you haven't built that strong foundation, the right message, the right clients, the process to deliver that message to the right clients, you got to go back and build that foundation starting now. So LinkedIn is a vital branding tool. And I share this. Obviously, you're here. Obviously, you know that I think it's a vital branding tool. But I know that some of you think LinkedIn is a resume tool. LinkedIn is a place just to share and reshare random posts from your CFO or charts and graphs instead of being a human. Being a human. That's what LinkedIn is all about. Having more conversations with your potential ideal clients. LinkedIn provides a great way to do that. And it is the best social network for building your authority brand for a number of reasons. First, there's 260 plus million active users, not just users, but active users. There's like 500 and something million total users. 260 million plus active users. Second, you have a 30,000 follower limit. On Facebook, it's like 5,000, right? Here on LinkedIn, you can have 30,000 connections. I have a typo here. 30,000 connections limit. You can have unlimited followers, but there's 30,000 connections that you can have. Facebook fails in comparison with their pales in comparison with their 5,000, right? LinkedIn, unlike many of the other social media networks, still has excellent organic reach. Let's face it, Facebook has become pay to play, right? Your personal profile, you can't tell from day to day who's going to see your content. LinkedIn, it's not as great as it was 2 years ago, where I could throw up a video and get 300,000 organic views almost every time I did it, but it's still got excellent organic reach. And I know people who have just started posting content and they're already getting several hundred views per post. That's excellent organic reach. And the more you connect with your ideal customers, the more you engage with other people's content, that organic reach even goes up from there. It's also got incredible search capabilities, especially if you level up into the premium. And if you get Sales Navigator, which I cannot recommend enough. Yes, it's $70 per month, but as one of my clients puts it, if I get one client, it's like his particular service might be 100 times worth. He's 100 times his investment in Sales Navigator. But there's incredible search capabilities related specifically to business that Facebook and Twitter just don't have. We're going to talk more specifically about some of those. It's got what I call spicy Google juice, meaning your LinkedIn profile shows up on page one. If you have a crappy, empty LinkedIn profile, guess what? When you get on the phone with someone and you call them and they look you up, and by the way, some of you may be here to increase your authority brand because you're looking to up your career or get a new job. Guess what? That's branding and sales as well. You want to call it a career search, it's branding and sales. When you meet with someone, when we apply for a job, when you call a new potential client, guess what they do? They Google you. Well, LinkedIn always shows up. Your profile and maybe your company page will show up on page one of Google. So it's important to have a robust LinkedIn page. It's got spicy Google juice, I call it. Also, people are there. People are on LinkedIn to do business. Now, you get the random Yahoo who likes to share their angry political stuff. And I post personal stuff, but I'm intentional about the personal stuff that I post because we're going to talk about the importance of being human, building that know, like, and trust factor, which is the reason people will buy for you. But people are there to do business. They're not there for the most part to look at cat photos, get angry about political stuff, send 62 posts a day about Trump or Pelosi or whatever the hell's going on. People are there to do business on LinkedIn, unlike many of the other social media networks. So I'm going to get into some top LinkedIn faux pas from financial professionals that I've seen over the past several months, but I want to pause because I know we have a number of new people joining us today. If you're just joining us, if you are joining us, the archive version of this later today or tomorrow, text authority to 55678. A lot of free goodies for you, branding free goodies for you to help you level up your authority brand. Don't be afraid to hit the like button and jump in the comments. Share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you're joining us from. And if you'd like to book a strategy call with me to learn how to up your authority brand, there is a link in the post that you can click and book that call. So let's talk about some of the top LinkedIn faux pas I've seen from financial professionals in recent months. One is the person who says, well, I'm already really active on LinkedIn, and I look and they haven't posted in about 2 months. They haven't posted any content. We're going to talk about some things today. Their profile photo is blank. They don't have a cover photo. Their about section is about half a sentence and a phrase. It's not even complete, right? They think they're active on LinkedIn, but they're really not. As I said, there's no profile or cover photo. You haven't taken the 5 minutes it takes to post one of those, so people can't know what you like. They think you're a robot instead of an actual human. Your job title or your description is your headline. We're going to talk a little bit about more what that means, but you shouldn't have just your job title or description as your headline. You should have your impact story. We're going to talk about that more today. Your about section is all about you. Now, why shouldn't it be all about you? After all, you're a passionate financial blah, 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 blah. We're going to talk about why no one cares about that. Infrequent content. Only reposted content. Well, once a week, I repost my CFO report. Talk about why that just won't get it done. Or no content. Or content that doesn't speak to your client outcomes, which is so important. Or using compliance as an excuse. Oh my gosh, Curt, you just don't understand. In the financial industry, because of compliance issues, we simply can't market. And yet you go to networking events 5 times a week and you have conversations with people. Guess what? LinkedIn is like having a conversation with people. And I will tell you that 90% at least of the financial professionals who say compliance, my hands are tied, are not even within 100 miles of the red line of compliance because you haven't tried. You haven't looked at what you can do versus can't do. And you've just said, well, compliance does it. I can't do a thing. And so you don't do a thing, right? Can't use compliance as an excuse. Most people, you need one of these. You're so far away from the compliance red line that you need one of these even to see where it is. And so you just do nothing and you use it as an excuse. So those are some of the top faux pas I've seen. Now, before we get in today, and I already hinted at this earlier, we're looking at a foundation. Whatever you're going to do when it comes to building your authority brand, you got to ask yourself, do I have a firm foundation? Do I know my impact story? Can I explain in one sentence the impact, the positive impact that my clients get from working with me? And by the way, do I know who my ideal clients are? Have I clearly identified my ideal clients? Now, ideal clients are different than bread and butter clients, right? Ideal clients are those clients who are going to pay you what you're worth. They're those clients who are going to pay you to be a trusted advisor and pay you trusted advisor money instead of treating you like a vendor. Listen, if you want to simply be a vendor, that's fine. You're going to have more headaches, less likely you're going to be able to scale your company. And by the way, I built 3 successful, very profitable companies instead of us, including a 7-figure PR and ad agency. And I speak from experience. I speak from failure. I speak from getting punched in the gut, the face, and knocked down. You want to be a trusted advisor instead of simply being a vendor. To do that, you got to have that impact story message, speak to your client outcomes. You got to know who your ideal client is, and you got to build a process to regularly, every day, speak to those ideal clients in a variety of ways. LinkedIn is one of the ways to do that. Now, I have an upcoming branding bootcamp. It's virtual authority branding bootcamp, where it's a wonderful, incredible primer that we use to help you build that foundation so you're ready to go. If you're interested in that bootcamp, text authority to 55678 or click the link in the post. We're not going to talk about that foundation today. Today, we're talking about the tool of LinkedIn. But if you're like, man, I still don't have that foundation, please text me, click the link, book a call with me today. Right message, ideal clients. That's the crux of the foundation, and then putting together that process to make it happen. Now, what we see here is, you may remember them or you may not remember them, but pre-COVID, we actually had networking events, right? And so you would go to these networking events, and what would you do? You go to a cocktail party. Now, would you go up to a cocktail party and go up to a perfect stranger who might or might not be your ideal client and simply hand them a prospectus report from your broker dealer or your CFO and walk away? Would you just walk up to someone and give them your job description and then walk away? Of course not. Now, why do I bring that up? You may say, that sounds preposterous, Curt. Of course I wouldn't do that. Well, you know what? Many of you treat LinkedIn like you're doing that. Here's my prospectus report. See you later. I'm going to walk away. And then you wonder why LinkedIn's, quote, not working. LinkedIn, social media overall, but LinkedIn is like a big networking event. It's like a big cocktail reception. And you have to start by tip number 1, acting like a human. Some of you, oh yeah, I'm so active, it's not working. I don't know why, because every Monday I just post a chart and a graph from my CFO. Oh yeah, the CIO of Merrill Lynch came out with a new report, and so I post it every Thursday. You think that's going to build the know, like, and trust factor? You think that's going to build your authority brand? You think that's going to generate leads and bring people into the fold? Of course not. Now, I don't say that to make you feel bad, because you're a smart person. Those charts and graphs are important to you. But guess what? The number one reason people buy from people is know, like, and trust. You got to act like a human. If you go to a networking event, you throw your business card at someone and walk away, it's not going to work. If you go to a networking event and you say, hi, I'm Jim, financial advisor / expert, and walk away, ain't going to work, right? You got to act like a human. LinkedIn is social. Being social means you got to be human. So whether it's your content, whether it's your headline, whether it's about, start acting like a human instead of a bot. That's just rule number 1. And I'm going to come back to that number of times. Tip number 2, please take the time to upload your photos. I mean, some of you I know have messaged out to me, and it's like, you don't even have your photos updated right now. So any of you know what this is right here? What this magical, wonderful, colorful, beautiful photo is? I know a lot of you will say, well, that's a blank LinkedIn cover photo. Like, that's the default. Well, you know what it really is? It's a missed opportunity to share the impact that your clients get, to share what you do, to share how you help them. It's a billboard, and you've just let it be this blue thing with the lines and the geometry shapes, whatever the hell that is. It is a missed opportunity. You don't have 10 minutes to put up a cover photo. Now, some of you say, well, what should I put up there? Well, great question. So here's some examples. Now I put mine up there, but here's two other examples of great people. And this shows a variety of options that you can do. Now, by the way, you can go to canva.com, canva.com, and you can type in LinkedIn cover photo, and it'll give you some options at which you can make this stuff. You can upload photos and all that. So Thomas Heath, my friend, he's a personal branding coach. You can see he has it up there. It's very clear. You go to his page, Thomas Heath Advisors, the personal branding experts. Great. You see that when you go there. There's Dr. Natalia Vyhovsky, personal branding coach, keynote speaker. She shares her authority right there. You see what she does. She's a LinkedIn expert. You can see where she's been quoted. There's ways to get in touch with her. And then there's mine. You know, I help people express their authority, increase their authority brand exposure. So I have that. I have that tagline. That's what I help people do. I don't have a job title. And then in the corner, I have my company name and how you can get in touch with me and my picture. And it's all works hand in hand with my brand. Please don't leave your cover photo blank. It just communicates that you don't care, and it's a missed opportunity to communicate your impact to the people who visit you. Because remember, there are people checking out your LinkedIn profile each day and you don't even know it. It's a missed opportunity. Then I'm going to ask you this right here. Which of these three photos do you think communicates authority? The one on the far left, which I know some of you probably still have, which means you haven't uploaded any file to LinkedIn. I mean, I refuse to connect with anyone who hasn't taken the 30 seconds to upload a photo, any photo. I mean, if you're not going to be intentional about uploading a quick photo to LinkedIn, I'm not going to be intentional about connecting with you. Now, the middle is my friend, Paolo Ciccone. He's one of the best headshot photographers that I know, personal branding photographer. That's his headshot. He always used my headshot because he took mine, so I'm going to use his here. That's professional headshot. Get a professional headshot taken, not just for LinkedIn, but my goodness, you are a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, whether you're looking to level up in your career, get a professional headshot taken. Don't cut corners. Don't just try to save a buck. Get a professional headshot taken. It is absolutely huge to communicating your authority. And then the one on the far right is what I see from a lot of people. Oh, I took a vacation photo or a wedding photo and it's kind of grainy and I stuck it in there. The ones on the left and the far right do not communicate your authority. Get a professional headshot taken. You want to communicate your authority. Every single one of us has a brand, whether you like it or not. It's about harnessing that authority. Photos certainly are one way to do it. If this is what you're looking at, or this middle section, or the left or the right is what you're looking at, my goodness, before you even get to your message, before you even get to your ideal clients, you got to go to basics. We talk about building that foundation. We're getting down to the bedrock here of the foundation of things you got to do. Take some time, be intentional, and upload your photos. Tip number 3, your headline should communicate the impact that you have on your clients. Do not put a job title. Do not put a job title in your headline. Don't just put a job title or what you do. Communicate the impact, the positive impact that your clients get from working with you. So as an example, does this grab you? Sales expert and trainer. There's like a gazillion of these on LinkedIn, right? Who cares? How do I know? What's in it for me? Would you rather be drawn in from this or this? I help you recapture lost revenue, book more appointments, and close more deals. This is an impact story. This is a headline worth putting on LinkedIn. This is a headline that speaks directly to the impact that I get from working with you, because I'm going to talk about this later, but it's worth repeating again. Your clients don't give a shit about you. They don't care about your bells, your whistles, your features, your products, how smart you are, how passionate you are. You know what? That doesn't mean that they don't have empathy for you as a human being. It doesn't mean that they don't like you as a person. But you know what? When it comes down to business, if they're going to reach into their pocket and give you money, they want to know the value that they're going to get in return. Your job title is not value to them. I help you recapture lost revenue, book more appointments, and close more deals. Holy cow. I need to recapture lost revenue because I lost all this money during COVID-19. How do I do this? I don't just need a sales expert. I need someone who's going to help me get this positive impact. Or this personal trainer. Okay, well, dime a dozen, right? Or how about this? I help high-achieving women look better, feel better, and move better. This is one of my clients went from personal trainer to exactly this. Notice, it doesn't just connote the impact and the outcomes, the positive impact and outcomes his client gets from working with him, but what does he specifically hone in on? We spent the time, several weeks, honing in on his ideal clients. We looked at the clients he had. The ones that were ideal clients, turns out they were women of a certain age and a certain net worth, and they were executives. So I help high achieving women look better, feel better, and move better. Wow, that's me. That's exactly right. I want to look good in my swimsuit. My suit's a little tight on me. This is exactly what I want. This is going to make you stand out versus personal trainer, sales trainer, financial advisor, financial expert. By the way, I see a lot of people who are looking for jobs who put looking for work. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That does not connote, if I'm going to hire you, because these same rules, by the way, go if you're looking to level up in your career, looking for a new job, you got to speak to the impact that I want. I'm going to hire you. How are you going to make my life better? People want to know, customers, people who are going to hire you, potential clients, what's in it for me? You got to speak to that every day, and you got to speak to that in your headline. So trash your job title, come up with your impact story, which, by the way, I help my clients with. Put that in your headline. Communicate impact right in your headline. What is your impact story? And if you don't know that impact story in one sentence, that's something you got to work on. That's part of that foundation, that branding foundation you got to build. Tip number 4, and we've talked about this throughout, speak to your client outcomes. I see this in the about section a lot, right? That about section in your LinkedIn profile. I can't tell you how many financial professionals start out, I'm passionate about blah, blah, blah. No one cares. It's great that you're passionate, and we'll find that out later, but we don't care if you're passionate. That should be a given that you're passionate. And by the way, 9 of your competitors are passionate about wealth management, right? I believe in blah, blah, blah. No one cares. I'm a financial advisor, blah, blah, blah. Once again, no one gives a turd about you, your products, your bells, your whistles, your features. Now you may say, I have so much intelligence. I have so many incredible bells and whistles. I just have to verbally vomit on you. And that's what it is. You're verbally vomiting. So many. I talked to a financial advisor a couple weeks ago, and I said, well, what do you offer? What's the impact you have? It took him 7 minutes to actually get to the impact he had on his clients. And he wonders why he has no clients. Listen, you got to draw people in with that impact story, then get them in a conversation. Then you can communicate their uniqueness once you've learned the outcomes that they want. This is all about your clients. What outcomes do they want and need? Can you provide them? Yes. Then let's have a conversation about those things. But you got to speak to your client outcomes. That is rule number 1 in branding, in lead generation, in sales. When I go and I get someone on the phone, guess what? If I have a 20-minute call, 15 minutes of that call is them talking about their desired outcomes. The next 5 minutes is about how I can deliver to them or not deliver based on what they gave to me. But in your about section, and by the way, fill out your about section. I know so many of you have like one sentence in your about section. Use up the whole thing. You know why? Because LinkedIn is a great search engine too. And you want to hit those keywords. When your potential client goes into LinkedIn and searches for certain keywords, what do they want to find? Right? Communicate that in your about section, but speak to their outcomes. Tip number 5, post consistent, human, impact-focused content. What this isn't is every few days I reshare a report from my company CFO. That ain't human, and it doesn't speak to impact for the most part, right? Listen, I know if you're like a financial advisor or in banking, if you're not B2B, but you're actually working with consumer clients, or even entrepreneurs, maybe you sell benefits to entrepreneurs, but they're busy selling widgets, right? They're really smart at selling widgets, but they're hiring you to be a trusted advisor. So you're verbally vomiting all these charts and graphs. And you know what a lot of them are thinking? I don't want to look through charts and graphs. I want to pay you to tell me the impact of those charts and graphs. That's why I'm going to hire you. So don't just verbally vomit on me these bells and whistles and dots on a graph and charts and prospectus. I don't want to go through that. I want you to go through that. And then I want you to communicate with me. The other thing is be human. A lot of folks are like, well, I don't have enough content to post. Know, like, and trust factor, right? There's nothing wrong with posting pictures of you and your family and how you've built freedom in your family. Post on your vacation. You may say, well, I don't want to do that. No one cares about that. You know what? They absolutely do. You know why I hired my financial advisor and fired my past financial advisor? I didn't really like the old financial advisor. Truth be told, my wife didn't really like my former financial advisor, but I clicked with my current advisor. We became friends. Know, like, and trust. And then we got to the fact that now I certainly trust him because he provides a quality product and service all the time. But you got to build that know, like, and trust factor. Here's the deal. Victor Antonio, sales trainer, I had him on my podcast last year, and he said, if you line up 10 products or services, and all in all, they're very similar, right? Especially to the naked observer, not to the naked eye or the casual observer, your potential client. They're going to look at the 10 competitors, and they're not going to see a difference. So you know what the X factor is, Victor said? It's you. You are the X factor. Yes, you sell financial products, but guess what? You're in sales. You're in branding. You are a human that has to click and attract your potential clients. You don't get that by being robotic about the content you share. Or once a week, I share a PowerPoint on market trends. No one's going to look at that thing. Other financial advisors might look at it. And by the way, I talk to a lot of financial advisors who say people love that. Well, who? Well, I got some feedback from people in my industry. Oh, really? Are they going to buy from you? Are they going to pay your mortgage for you? Of course not. Speak to the outcomes of your potential clients. By the way, if your target market is high achieving moms, then speak to high achieving moms. If you're a high achieving mom, share what you're going through in your life. You know what? It's going to resonate with that person. It's going to resonate with that person. Even if it's nothing about dollars and cents, they're going to be drawn to you. Know, like, and trust. Think about that when you produce your content. It's got to be human, impact focused, consistent. Sometimes I post charts and graphs and blah, 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 blah. How are people better off from working with you? There's a lot of people who post content, and I'll tell you what, their content doesn't speak to me because I'm having certain challenges over here. I'm your ideal client, and you're just posting content over here that doesn't speak to, if I give you money, how am I going to be better off, right? There was someone I know yesterday who posted something about many families right now are suffering because of this, and they have questions about the right financial da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It sounds like some slick ad. How could that be rewritten? Are you someone right now who's worried about your financial future, right? You speak specifically to the person. Be human. Act like you are speaking to an actual human being when you post content. Don't just post canned content. 1 in 10 families right now are angry, but no one cares. Say, are you angry? Are you upset? Are you worried about your financial future? Are you worried? Are you confused about the climate? Are you scared because of what you hear about the market going up and down? Speak to your client outcomes, their fears, their needs. Speak specifically to your ideal client and post it regularly with that content. Again, I can't stress this enough. In your content, in your headline, in your photos, in your about section, in conversations at networking events, in emails you send out, in the calls with potential clients. You got to remember that know, like, and trust factor. People aren't buying you for bullet points. People in many cases aren't buying you for the specific product. They are drawn to you because they know, they like, and they trust you. And that trust is built over time. But one way you build trust, and I talk about this in my 4 pillars of an authority brand webinar. Those 4 pillars are attention, accuracy, alignment, and authenticity. Authenticity goes to trust. You can get that webinar by texting authority to 55678. Is through consistent, factual, trustworthy content that speaks to your client outcomes. That will build not only the know and like factor, but it'll also build the trust factor. Tip number 6, find your ideal clients and speak to them. Now, LinkedIn provides great ways to do that. Now, your ideal client, and again, we go through all this in my authority branding bootcamp. Where do they live? What types of industries are there in? What types of companies, size of company, length of time in industry, location? Are they man? Are they a woman? By the way, I have 5 pages of questions I go through with my clients to define your ideal client. You got to put that together. So many people, I posted a video on LinkedIn today. I say, who's your ideal client? It's something akin to like all God's children. That's not an ideal client, right? You got to get really specific, really radical, really aggressive in identifying your ideal client. And then guess what? If you haven't upgraded into Sales Navigator, do it because you can use it to find your ideal clients. You get into Sales Navigator, I mean, you can find the type of industry, the type of company, certainly location, how long they've been in that industry, number of employees, who they're connected with. Are they connected with you? There's a whole list of things in Sales Navigator. You type that stuff in. Guess what? You get a list of 1,000 people who are your ideal clients. You get a list, right? Now, there's certain things you can do for those lists. Joe Peachy, sales trainer, picks up that list and calls them. I'm going to talk about some things that I do and some things you can start doing right now to start connecting with those people and starting conversations. Number one is you go through that list, you send them connection requests. Hey, I'm looking to connect with people in the financial services industry. Let's connect. Send them a note. They connect. Once they connect, a lot of people let it go. I send a note like, hey, what's new in your world? How are you weathering the Corona storm? Start up a conversation, even if it's within the LinkedIn Messenger, right? Now they're connected with you. Guess what? As you produce content, speak to them. Those new connections, they're going to see your content. That's one way to use that as an incredible lead generation source. So you go into Sales Navigator, you type in all the demographic, location, information, all that. You get your list, connect with them, start a conversation, post content that speaks to them. Real easy. And it's something that most people don't do. Number two is you view these people's profiles. Guess what? They're going to view your profile back. Not 100 out of 100, maybe 20, 30. I've seen as many as 50 people view my profile back. When they view your profile back, send them a note. Hey, thanks for visiting my LinkedIn profile. Let's connect. You know what? Most of them won't remember the fact of why they visited your profile. They connect. Guess what I do when that person connects? The next day, they're on my call list. I call them. I have a whole script. We go through that in my Authority Branding Bootcamp, but I have a whole script. We have scripts for what works. And you call them up and say, hey, Jim, this is Curt with Merc Enterprise. We just connected on LinkedIn. Is now a good time? Holy cow. Yeah, that's great. Wonderful. You start up a conversation. That's what sales is about. Starting up conversations with your potential clients. So view their profiles. They view yours. By the way, you can go back here as well. You connect with people, start a conversation, pick up the phone and call them. Pick up the phone and call them. If they're in your ideal client, it's not a cold call. They just connected with you on LinkedIn. You have an excuse to call them. These are warm leads we're talking about. And then, or as you go, you post consistent content. As you post consistent content, you bring in relevant audience. Let's say you get 5 likes on your post. Look through those 5 people who liked your post. Are any of them in your ideal client? If they're not connected with you, send a connection request. If they are connected with you, start a conversation. Maybe even pick up the phone. I have people all the time who can't believe that I picked up the phone and called them to say, thank you for liking my post today. I haven't had a single person be mad about that or be offended about me picking up the phone and calling them. Happens all the time. Guess what? Over the last 2 months, I have over 60 proposals out. Many of them were done exactly through the last 3 things I talked about. Viewing people's profiles, connecting with people in my ideal audience, or connecting with people and starting conversations with people who liked or engaged with my content. These are 3 very basic pieces. These are things you can do without hiring a lead generation company, without paying for ads. These are things you can do, and by the way, should be doing every day. I wake up at 8:30, or I wake up much before 8:30, but at 8:30 every morning, I'm viewing profiles of my ideal clients. And throughout the day, those people view mine back. I connect with them. Between 9 and 10, you know what I do every morning? I call those people who viewed my profile or connected with me. And guess what? I schedule calls with them for the next week. And then guess what? I send proposals. And then guess what? They either become a client or they don't. You got to set up that process. LinkedIn is a wonderful, excellent way to do it. I have not run out of leads on LinkedIn yet using these 3 little tips I gave you right here today. But again, you got to have that strong foundation, right message, right clients. And by the way, before you start using LinkedIn effectively, upload your photos, have a headline that speaks to your impact story, have an about section that speaks to the positive outcomes your clients get from working with you, right? Consistent, impact-driven, human content on a regular basis. Upgrade to Sales Navigator, start using their search tools. By the way, if you don't upgrade to Sales Navigator, you can still use search tools in LinkedIn. Use them as best you can to start finding those people in your ideal client persona. Because when you speak to everyone, and I see this a lot of people are afraid about niching down and speaking to their ideal client. Well, then what's the use? Because when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. because your ideal clients can walk by you and not even know that you're addressing them. So it starts with that strong foundation first. And again, I cannot stress enough, act like a human. So many folks, you're so smart, you're so intelligent, and yet no one cares. Why? Because you're not acting like a human. You're acting like a robot when you post stuff about your bells, your whistles, your features, your products, charts and graphs, your CFO report, all the bullet points of everything of your product and service, and yet your potential clients are scrolling by without paying it any mind. Why? Because you're not specifically speaking to the outcomes that they get from working with you and the outcomes and their hopes and their fears that they have right now. It is absolutely so vital. So again, as I mentioned, I help entrepreneurs increase their authority brand exposure to the right clients to generate the right leads and more revenue. That's my impact story. One of the ways I do that is through free strategy sessions just like this on how to level up in LinkedIn. Much of what I talk about today is the what. In my one-on-one coaching and in my authority branding bootcamp, we get into the how. I lead you through how to build that right message, that impact story, how to get radical about identifying your clients, how to put together a process so every day you're generating leads, you're generating new conversations with the right clients to generate more revenue. Part of that is LinkedIn and getting in detail of helping you craft a LinkedIn strategy that matches that foundation you've built. And if my team can help you in any of those areas through my authority branding bootcamp or one-on-one consulting, you can text authority to 55678. Take out your cell phone now. By the way, even if you don't want to work with me, you text authority to 55678, and guess what? There's a couple free webinars up there, including 4 pillars of building an authority brand. There's a link to schedule a call with me. There's also a link to subscribe to the Authority Brand podcast. Every week we talk about a lot of these issues. So you're going to get great value from there for free, for no cost at all. Or click the link in the post, schedule a call, free strategy call with me. And with that, I want to turn it over for you. I kept it to a good time, 47 minutes, which leaves us a while for questions if you have those questions. By the way, if you joined us late, please go back, watch the archive version of this. I'm also going to send this out. I've recorded it to YouTube, so I'll send that to you as well, so you all have it. You can watch it at your leisure. But if you're joining again, please don't hesitate to jump in, share your name, your city, your state, your town, where in the world you're joining us from, comments, your questions, your agreements, your disagreements. And I'll hang on here for a little bit to see any questions that you have for me right now. Any questions? And I've noticed doing these LinkedIn Lives, there is a delay from the time I say submit your questions to the time they actually show up. So I'll wait here a little bit. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Dave, for joining us today, jumping in, letting me know that you're here, that you're watching, that you're alive, that you're engaged. Any other questions that any of you have today? Play the Jeopardy music. Da-na-na-na. And by the way, you all are connected with me on LinkedIn, so you can send me a private message as well if you have any questions for me. And by the way, Dave, hope everything was well with smoke inside the bank. All right. Well, if there are no additional questions, guess what? You can put them in the comments. I'm going to go back and check that video. I'll check them throughout the day. Please share your comments, your questions, agreements, disagreements. Text authority to 55678 if you'd like to learn more. Get some free goodies. Click the link in the post. You can schedule a call with me. Thank you so much for watching. Level up your LinkedIn game for financial professionals. Again, don't hesitate to send me a message if you have any questions. Schedule a call with me. Thank you so much for registering for this event. I want to thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to those who were engaged, who jumped in, left their comments and their questions. If you join the archive version of this today or tomorrow, please feel free to do the same. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Curt Mercadante.